it's actually very okay to cry. I mean, it's okay to let out the emotions. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Mystic Sandra. I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you guys have been fine, because as you can see, I've been good, I've been great, I've been awesome, I've been wonderful. As you can see, I've actually been doing good. Okay guys, so basically today I bring another interactive expository topic and for discussion, obviously, because I want us to look at this topic critically and leave our thoughts, what we think about it. Without further ado, I'll just tell us what the topic is. So the topic I'm talking about is allowing people mourn and giving them the adequate support that they need in their time of grief or in their period of grief. That's what the topic is about. And of course, we know that when we talk about mourning, it has to do with someone losing a loved one, losing a family member or a friend, and it's always not a pleasant time. It's always a very difficult time for them and the people around them. I mean, it's not always easy. No one prays to lose someone, because it's a terrible period, especially someone that is being loved. It's not always an easy time for anybody at all. And but in as much as we don't pray to die untimely, we don't pray to lose anyone untimely, we don't pray for anything to happen that will take anyone's life. That is something that is inevitable, so it's definitely going to happen to us all. But our prayer is always, God, let us live long to fulfill the purpose for which you've brought us to this earth. Let's live long, rich, satisfying life. I mean, even the Bible talks about God giving us long life. So it's something we all pray for. But in as much as we pray for that, we should always know that each day people die, and it's something that's inevitable. So it means that each day someone somewhere is grieving, someone somewhere is mourning, someone somewhere is crying about losing someone. So the reason why I'm actually doing this video, the essence of this video was born out of the concern of a story I actually heard about someone, and it was a really sad story. It was really, I don't know, I felt really sad, and I just thought that if the right level of support was being given at that time, the situation wouldn't have escalated or degenerated to the point it did, that eventually led to the death of the person. So yeah, I'll be sharing that story with us today, and I'll be asking us to leave our thoughts, what we think on this topic, why I also leave my thoughts on what I also think on the topic. Okay, right. So but before I go on, I should also let us know that we don't tell people how to grieve. Okay, we don't tell people who are grieving as a result of bereavement. That's the essence of this video. We don't tell them how to grieve. But in as much as we don't tell people how to grieve, there are certain supports that we can give to them in their time of grief. Okay? All right, so I'll just go right into the story. So there was this lady who lost her husband. Yeah, so the story has it that the husband wasn't sick. It wasn't also an accident where we say he went out and probably didn't come back in. No, that was not the case. Her husband was really healthy and fit. And this is the kind of marriage they had. Of course, we always say there's no perfect marriage, but I would say it was nearly perfect, because the man was her world. He was everything to her. He was a husband, he was a brother, he was a friend, he was a father, he was everything. So just imagine how close or how closely knitted they were. and then something just happens and plucks the man out of her life, it's going to break her down. Like, obviously that's what happened. So what happened was her husband suddenly died, a man who wasn't sick with nothing. The story has it that they visited the village one of those days, and as normal, he just went out because he wanted to like greet all the family members around. And according to the story, while he was doing that, just walking on the road, he fell and hit his head on a stone, and that was the end. I mean, he didn't trip, and just imagine, like, it's not as if someone want to like imagine, like, why did he have to trip, or why did he have to fall at the point where the stone was? Anyways, we are not there to like analyze what happened or what could have happened, because of course we know that mysterious things happen surrounding some kind of news that we actually hear. We're not actually here to do that. But what I'm trying to say here is, after the man died, the woman in question, which was the wife, after the burial and the funeral, after the funeral and every other thing, her family, like the woman's family, tried as much as possible to like be there for her at the time, because there was just a lot of things. The man was a breadwinner of the family, so the thought of, where do I start from? And they had 3 children. Where do I start from? And I understand that it could really be very overwhelming for her at that point. So it was really overwhelming for her, and she didn't just know what to do. I can just imagine the thoughts that were coming into her head, or I don't know, but I know that it was really difficult for her, as it is difficult for any other person in that position. So what she did was, she had to take her kids to her mom's place. So obviously the kids were with their grandmother, and then she packed the things and said she wanted to go to the village, her husband's compound. And people were like, no, at this point in time, you need to be around family members, you need to be around friends, people who love you, because it's not an easy time. She said no, that of course she's going to be around her husband's family, according to her, and so she wanted to go to her husband's village, which they actually let her do. So she moved out, took her things, and traveled down to her husband's village, stayed in the compound. Guys, do you know what happened? That this woman was practically living on her husband's grave, because her husband was actually buried in the compound there. So every morning she goes to the grave, and that's where she stays till night. She's crying, she's wailing, she's lamenting. She was like, she still could not believe that her husband was no more. A lot of things. Obviously that was her way of grieving. That was her way of grieving. And obviously nobody stopped her. Nobody from her husband's house, none of her in-laws stopped her from doing that. Probably they felt that was the closure she needed. So she needed that closure. So going to her husband's grave to cry and let out the emotions was just the best that she could do, and that was what she did. But she did it for weeks. It wasn't one day, it wasn't 2 days, it was consecutive, and she wasn't stopped. One of those occasions, after she must have been done, like probably at night, she left the husband's grave and went back home, or just sat in front of the house. I think that was what the story had it, and that was how she just slumped and died. Yeah. This was like 2 months after her husband's funeral. She followed her husband and died. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. Like, it's not always easy. It's really, really sad. Now, what happened? Her kids were with her mother. And her mother has lost her son-in-law and her daughter in the space of 3 months. and she's with her grandkids. It was it was like a film to the mom. It was like a film to the mom, obviously. But unlike the daughter, who chose to get closure by going to her husband's grave to cry and let out all her emotions, the mother bottled her in. Like, she was saying she was strong. Even when family members asked her, she was like, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm strong. And she went about her normal business. Like, she was a businesswoman, so she went about doing everything that she normally does and all of that. She didn't grieve for one day. I mean, people watched her. She never cried for one day. Guys, it's actually very okay to cry. I mean, it's okay to let out the emotions. I understand that we want to be strong. I understand that we don't want people to feel we are vulnerable, we are weak. But it's okay to be vulnerable at times. Yes, if you're actually going to get peace of mind after being vulnerable, it's fine. Even me, sometimes I cry. Like, there are sometimes you're just filled up with so much emotions inside. Like, it's like your head wants to explode. Your heart wants to, I don't know, like tear into pieces. You just, whatever it is that works for you at that time to relieve that emotion you're bottling up, do it. Do it. But it's always advisable for people to grieve, mourn the way you want to mourn. Bottling up the whole emotion is not going to help you. Like, trying to put up this strong face or strong image to let people know that, see, I'm actually strong despite what has happened, is not always the best. It's not always the best. People understand what you've gone through, what you're going through at that point in time. So it's okay for you to feel vulnerable in front of them. The mother did not feel like, she felt life happens. So she kept everything in, bottled up the emotion. She wasn't talking to anyone. In fact, nobody should even bring up the topic of her daughter's death. If you bring it up, she just like waves it off. She doesn't want to hear and stuff like that. So she doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to grieve about it. She doesn't want to mourn. She doesn't want to be weak. She doesn't want to feel vulnerable. Nothing at all. She just wants to live her life and go about her business, which obviously she did until one of the days, like 3 weeks after, or 3 weeks or a month after her daughter's funeral, that she slept and never woke up. And that was how she also died. So that family was bereaved in the space of, let's say, 4 months. They lost 3 people. I mean, even though they say it's manipulation, which I don't want to go into, that's not the essence of this video. I don't want to come for us to start analyzing what could have happened or behind the scene, whatever it is that must have been working. No. I want us to critically look at this. I'm talking specifically about the mother now, because she didn't mourn or she didn't grieve. Guys, it is okay for someone to grieve. And then we need to also support them. We need to also support them. So we need to let them feel safe, that they can express themselves without feeling judged. And another thing I want us to know is that there's no set time for someone to mourn. No, there's no set time. As long as it takes. So as long as it takes for the person to mourn, that is the time it also takes for us to support them. Allow them express their emotions. But we don't need to try to force them to speak or share if that's not what they want to do. So yes, obviously. So the mom did not want to share, did not want to talk about it and all of that. So that was probably that was her own coping mechanism. But it wasn't healthy. I mean, the daughter was able to like go and cry and, express. That was okay. That was her own way. But the mom bottling everything up. See, even on a normal day, bottling up emotions is really, really, really scary for people. That's why we have therapists, because people actually run to go and speak to those people, because depression, they say, is real. You can't just bottle up everything or bottle up every emotion. You need to share. You need to talk to someone you trust. You need to let it out. You need to let it out. You need to be patient with them. We need to be patient with them. Don't always want to hurry them and say it's time to move on. Because I've heard some persons say those statements. The person is gone, so move on. It's not always easy to move on. So we need to be patient with them in their time of grief. We need to be there for them, allow them to speak to us, give them a listening ear. If what they want to do is talk and keep talking, we need to give them a listening ear and let them know that we are always there to support them. Don't let them be on their own. Always call them, probably you're far, always call them to check on them, to ask them how they are doing. Some of them want to put up a strong face, but you should know that behind that strong face that they are putting up is someone who's really vulnerable. So you need to understand that and follow them at that. Okay, we need to understand that and follow them at that. I think what I'm trying to say in general is that we need to support people. We need to support people. Most times when something happens, we just let them be. I understand that we are also going through our own things, but if you say you truly care about this person, we need to be there to support them. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel that too many times once something happens, we just leave people to grieve on their own. We just let them be. I mean, once the funeral is over now, that's the end. That's the end. But some of these persons still need us in their corners. They still need us to be there for them. They still need us to give them the support that they need. I don't know what you guys think. I would actually love you guys to leave your thoughts, because I would also love to know more. How best do you think we should support people who are grieving? But I know there are so many other ways that we could support people who are actually grieving or who are actually mourning. So I don't know, you guys just leave your thoughts in the comment section, just to let people know how we can best support people. I mean, in the Western world, they've got support groups. They've also got therapists who the family members can actually, refer these people to go keep talking to them and speak. Because when you talk to people, sometimes you actually feel relief and all of that. So we need to, I don't know, I need you guys to just drop it in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. What other ways do you think we can support people who are grieving? Or what other ways have you supported someone who was grieving? Or if you've ever grieved, maybe you've lost someone you love, how supportive were people to you? Or how supportive were people around you? Okay, just leave it in the comment section and let's interact. Okay, guys, this was really emotional for me, but I'm actually going to end this video now. End this video here, and waiting for your comments. And while you're at it, don't also forget to like. Don't also forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't also forget to turn on post notifications, so whenever I post a new video, you're actually going to be notified about it. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, take care of yourself and be good. Bye.